How you doing? I'm Darren with Kickin BBQ. If this is your first time to the channel, then welcome. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Today I have a little bit different of a video for you. We are going to talk about last weekend. I was at a barbecue competition last weekend. It is the biggest barbecue competition in Minnesota called Minnesota in May. Nice play off of words for Memphis in May. And all in all, there was around 100 teams there. There was about 58 Master Series teams and I believe 40-something backyard teams. So you're sitting right around that 100 team mark. To give you a perspective of that, the American Royal, usually the times I've been there, sat around like 500 teams. So it's a good size state contest, it's a state championship. And I am so happy to say that I won that competition. So we're going to talk a little bit about the competition. We're going to talk a little bit about how I won. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to have a pretty big announcement that I think you guys are going to want to hear. So let's just kind of get into it right now. So to give you guys a little bit of a backstory, when I started this channel in 2019, that's how Kickin BBQ was born. And then that is how I adapted that name into my competition team name. And the first comp I cooked under that name was in 2020, and it was in Minnesota in May, August. Now, we all know what happened in 2020, kind of put a damper on things. So the competition that was supposed to be in May was moved to August, hence Minnesota in May, August. Now, up until that point, I had never gotten a call at a KCBS barbecue competition. And going into that year, I had worked really hard. I was cooking a lot of chicken, cooking a lot of ribs, and had some solid mentorship into cooking brisket. And actually, that competition is where I got my first KCBS call. I cooked one competition in 2020 because, like I said, it was a weird year. And I ended up getting 10th place brisket out of 45 teams. I finished 21st overall. And I just remember getting that call. It was the coolest thing in the world. I'd worked so hard for it, and just getting a 10th place call was absolutely amazing. Now fast forward to 2025, I've already cooked 2 contests this year. I cooked Fire on Ice and Minnesota in May. So I wasn't even sure if I was going to cook Minnesota in May because it has just been kind of an up and down roller coaster for me. It's a lot of money to go down there and do it. I believe it's $400 for the entry if you're going to cook the 1 meat rib, plus your gas, your meat, and everything else. To do a contest for me, I'm looking at about $1,000 to $1,400 depending on the contest just to go and cook that weekend. So I wasn't sure if I was going to cook it. My buddy kind of talked me into it. We signed up, got down there, and I used a brisket I had left over from last year. I felt good about the cook. I tried new chicken technique, which I wasn't sure about, but it ended up looking really good in the box, and I'll show you that here in a minute. But it was just it was fun. I was optimistic, but like I never expected to win the contest. So I will say it is pretty cool 5 years later to finally win Minnesota in May. But it wasn't just winning it, it was how I won it. So let's get into the details of that. So for chicken, I ended up getting 4th place chicken with a 178.8572. To give you a perspective on that, a 180 is a perfect score. So to get 4th place chicken, I think I tied actually for 3rd, lost the tiebreaker with a 178.852. Now ribs was kind of a weird one for me. I ended up getting 32nd in ribs with a 168.5372. 1 meat ribs the night before. I was 17th with a 170.8344. The thing about this is I actually was number 1 at my table. So if you win your table, that's all you can really do. I'm chalking it up to just a bad table. I'm not changing my rib recipe. I've been Minnesota Rib Team of the Year. I've done very well in it. And I'm just going to stick with it and chalk it up to a bad table. Now, pork has always kind of been my demise. I don't know why, but I was 16th, first at my table. I was also first at my table in chicken. So I was 16th overall out of 58 teams in pork with a 174.2744, which is a really good score. I'm happy with that. If I could get that at every comp, I'd be ecstatic. So here's my 4th place chicken trophy. Very excited about that. Won my table. I won my table in every category, which there's nothing else you can do besides do that. So now coming into brisket, I have gotten a 1st place brisket call before. I've missed a 180 like 3 or 4 times. And so they're calling brisket. and they get down to first place brisket with a 180, and I'm like, I used a throwaway brisket from last year, I don't know. First place brisket with a perfect 180. So I was so happy. Like, I finally got that elusive 180 on a first place brisket at Minnesota in May, where I got my first ever call, which happened to be 10th place brisket. So then they start getting down to the top 10. And they're getting down there, and I'm like, okay, I for sure probably have top 10. I don't think it's good enough to win. We'll see. So they get down to reserve grand. I don't hear my name. I have people coming up to me, congratulating me. You won this contest. I'm like, man, I don't know. We'll see. I ended up winning the competition, grand champion, with a 701.6688 total score. Now, getting a 700 plus is a really big deal at a barbecue competition. They give you these nice little stickers and a pin for 180 and 700 plus. This is my second 700 plus grand championship. I've gotten one in Wisconsin before, and it is just a really cool feeling to hit that, because it's a pretty elusive mark. A lot of people don't ever hit that, and it's really hard to do. You have to score well. So winning that competition was just awesome. Had my good friend Steve from Son of a Boar and his wife Coley there congratulating me. The guys who came and helped me cook, Dan, Kyle, Chris and his wife. It was a lot of fun. And finally getting this trophy was just awesome. So that being said, coming up here in the near future, I'm going to be doing a competition series. I'm going to be doing chicken, ribs, pork, and brisket. I'm going to show you how I do it. Now, they're not going to be my exact recipes, because I'm not just giving those out. It will be very similar, and the recipes I will be giving you, I know that you can go and score with. It's not like I'm just pumping whatever product. No, I'm going to be giving you a general idea of some flavor profiles that can help you score and get you to that next level. And then once you figure out how to nail the cook, because it's a tenderness game, you got to have tenderness on there, or there's no hope for you of winning a contest. Tenderness is the most important thing. You have your appearance score, you have your taste score, you have your tenderness score, and they're weighted. So tenderness, taste, and appearance, in that order is how they're weighted. Now, I'm doing this because, number one, I'm kind of slowing down on contests this year. I'm only cooking a handful of them because I want to focus on YouTube and getting videos out and everything else. Like, I really enjoy making these videos for you guys every week, and it's hard to go cook a contest, make a video, prep for the contest all week. I do want to film at a contest so you guys can kind of get a behind the scenes look, but I am going to be doing a comp series video because there are teams out there that are learning and they want to do well, and I know the learning curve is hard. You can spend $800 on a class if you want to. I've never taken a class. I've just put in the work, done my research on it, had great mentorship from Dan, the guy who makes the Tailgaters barbecue party rub, and I'm very blessed to have kind of found my calling and success how I have. So I want to give that back to my viewers and the people who are interested in doing well. So look for that coming soon. We'll be talking about that in the near future here, but I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. I do want to thank my sponsors for making all this possible. Compart Family Farms, the best pork on the planet, wonderful family, wonderful people, just great people, salt of the earth people, and they have that breeding process down. They have the feeding process down. I am hoping to be going down there this summer and giving you guys a tour of the farm, let you talk to Jim and the other owners and stuff like that, hear what they have to say about their pork and everything else in the competition world and the white tablecloth restaurants they're in. So look for that video coming this summer. I also want to thank Coon Rapids Ace Hardware, my local Ace Hardware store. Tim has done an amazing job transforming that store into a barbecue haven. They sell more of my rub than any other retailer that I'm aware of, and they are just super, super supportive. So Suckle Busters, you guys know I love Suckle Busters. Dan Arnold, his team, his family, again, salt of the earth people, been with them for years, and I'm extremely loyal to them. I love the products. They've helped me market my rub, develop my rub. They take care of all the packaging, shipping, everything else. Thanks to them, I'm in Shield stores and just wonderful people. It's been an incredible opportunity. So Suckle Busters, Tailgaters Barbecue Dan Woods has been my biggest mentor for competition and just barbecue in general. The guy's an absolute saint. He's got his food trailer down in Texas. He's killing it down there. He's got an amazing rub. I remember the first time I was ever building a kale box, I FaceTimed him to help me out. And that was the day I got that 10th place brisket call with his brisket recipe. I've altered it a little bit to fit the taste of Minnesota because we're not in Texas, but I don't think Dan knows how much he's done for me and how much I appreciate it. We talk almost every day. Just a great guy. If you're ever down in the DFW area, make sure you stop by Tailgaters Barbecue and tell him that I sent you. And finally, new to this year, my sponsor, Smoky Woods Barbecue. They make charcoal, chunks, pellets, splits, you name it. They're out of Wisconsin. They're made in the Midwest. I'm on their team this year, so to jump out and win the biggest competition in Minnesota, representing them is huge. Their pellets are amazing. Charcoal is amazing. Wood splits are amazing. I burn them in the old hickory. I burn their pellets. I burn their chunks in my drums. Just an awesome, awesome company, product, values. I'm waiting on a pallet order today of a bunch of product for them, so we'll be talking about that in probably the next week's video. But I've just been very fortunate enough to get some really great sponsors, and when I have a sponsor, I want to represent them to the best of my ability and really do well. So I'm very fortunate in that aspect of things. Now, I'm going to show my boxes here up on the screen. I'm going to show you my chicken box, and I ended up doing legs and wings, something new I've never done before. I'll show you my rib box. They were good ribs. The flavor was there. They just didn't, I mean, they scored well on the table. They just didn't score well overall, which happens. My pork box, which has always been my demise, but I think I'm starting to figure it out. So you can see that's a nice looking box. And then my brisket box, a 180. I had all 9s except 1/8, so I almost had a perfect, but I had a perfect 180 on there. And that was just probably one of the coolest calls I've ever had in my life. So I am just very happy and fortunate to have won this competition. It's been a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and I don't think people know how much goes into that. You get a lot of people that bash competition barbecue because it's sweet candy this, blah, 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 and you're right, but nailing that tenderness and appeasing a stranger's flavor profile, much less 6 or 7 of them sitting at a table, is a very hard thing to do. Anyone can go and cook fall off the bone ribs. You leave them wrapped for long enough, they fall off the bone. But to cook a perfect rack of ribs with that nice bite through where it's not falling off the bones, you're not too salty, you're not too sweet, you're not too spicy, you just have a balanced rib, it's hard to do. So cooking competition barbecue is a hard thing to do. It's a lot of money, but man, it's a lot of fun, and you meet some of the coolest people you will ever meet in the world. It's a huge family. It's so much fun. So yeah, first place brisket, the 180. 4th place chicken, the 178. Grand champion overall out of 58 teams, master teams, with a 700 score. Absolutely, just, I still can't believe it happened. I couldn't believe it happened then. I can't believe it's happened now. I had so many calls and texts from people congratulating me, and it really is just super cool to 5 years later where I got my first call to win that competition in the way I did with the first place brisket, perfect score, 700 plus. And yeah, so like I said, not a recipe video this week. I kind of want to just give you guys an update, and hopefully we can be doing more of these videos. I'd like to keep you guys informed on the competition side of things and bring you along in like a vlog style video to one of those. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna have a link to all my sponsors down below. Be sure to check them out. But yeah, any questions, let me know. You can make sure you're following me on Instagram and Facebook. I post a little bit more frequently on there than I do on YouTube because it's a lot of work to do a video every week. But short form content on Instagram, competition updates on my Facebook page. Everything is at Kickin BBQ on all social media. You can reach out to me on any of those. Send me a DM on Instagram, send me a message on Facebook, drop a comment here, whatever you want to do. But guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, stay safe. We'll see you next time.